My name is Sabrina Hakimi, and I serve as the National Member for Business Services with the Agahan Economic Planning Board for the United States of America. And I also serve as a board member of the American Ismaili Chamber of Commerce. I would like to welcome all of you to this webinar today, planned by the Economic Planning Board. Today's webinar is about the financial impact of the coronavirus and how it has affected the state of the industry of the quick service, restaurant, and deli businesses. COVID-19 has changed and impacted the economy on a global scale. No industry has been spared, including the food service and restaurant industry. As a result, we must adapt and change our business accordingly. Not only must we survive, but we need to be able to thrive again in the aftermath of this pandemic. The National Council and the central institutions are working diligently to provide as many avenues of support and assistance as possible. They have come together to create programs like these webinars for the benefit of the Jamaat, to provide education and offer assistance to overcome these challenging times. Multi-channel resources have been created, such as the ERG, the Economic Resource Guide, which is available on the AICC website, www.ismailichamber.org, as well as the ERT, the Economic Response Team. This is so we can better assist and support our Jamaat. Now is the time for all of us to stay hopeful and remain steadfast in our faith. In time, this too shall pass, and we must keep alive our hope that inshallah we will emerge successfully from this pandemic and reestablish our businesses and our lives even better than before. We must all come together in the spirit of cohesiveness to truly be one Jamaat and pool together our resources and knowledge for the benefit of our Ismaili brothers and sisters. Today's webinar's objective is to give you information on how you can adjust your business model from an operations standpoint and make financially prudent decisions. We will also provide you with a quick update on government grants, the SBA loan programs, and the Paycheck Protection Program, which have been announced by the government. On our webinar today, we have business experts from within the Jamaat, people who have lived through and survived previous recessions successfully and are developing and implementing creative ideas for their own restaurants and stores. They are here to share their insights and their practical and actionable ideas with you so that you too can implement similar strategies to improve the state of your businesses. Today's webinar will be a 60-minute moderated question and answer session. It will be moderated by Taj Duka, who is an engineer by training and is a long-standing, successful entrepreneur based in Houston, Texas. Our industry experts on today's panel are President Sahiba Salima Jaffer, who is the president of the Agahan Council for Southeastern United States. President Sahiba has been an active entrepreneur as an owner and operator in the quick service and fast casual restaurant sector for the past 16 years. Prior to this, she worked in corporate finance for companies such as UPS and Coca-Cola. Our next speaker is Qadir Ali Chinara, who has been in the restaurant industry for over 2 decades and currently owns and operates several restaurants across many different concepts, mostly in Atlanta. His deep experience and ability to negotiate with lenders and suppliers is allowing his company to successfully weather the COVID-19 pandemic. Mr. Nasser Panjwani is based in Houston and is a multi-unit franchisee with Checkers Restaurants. He is a former franchisee of many national and local brands and also owns a chain of convenience stores and gas stations with delis, Nasser is also an advisory board member for the Legacy Real Estate Fund. Our fourth industry expert is Kareem Khwaja, who is an entrepreneur, a franchisee, and a restaurateur who owns and operates quick service restaurants in Illinois, Michigan, Iowa, and California. And lastly, for the update on SBA loans and the Paycheck Protection Program, we have Mr. Amir Marani, who spoke on one of our previous webinars as well. Amir Marani has been a CPA in Dallas, Texas for over 25 years. A link to a recording of this webinar and the Economic Resource Guide, as well as other resources such as a summary of the U.S. government stimulus package, CARES Act, will be made available to everyone on the American Ismaili Chamber of Commerce website. That's www.ismailichamber.org. I would now like to turn it over to Mr. Taj Gupta to begin our moderated question and answer session.
Thank you, Sabrina. Let me welcome our four panelists and thank you for joining and sharing your thoughts and wisdom with the Jamaati audience today. Let me begin this with President Salima, with you. We understand that the food service or restaurant industry is perhaps one of the hardest hit businesses from this COVID-19 pandemic. Being in this industry for a long time, can you kindly share which establishment within the food service industry have been impacted the most and operations that have been able to pivot to minimize impact on their revenues? President Saba?
Thank you, Taj, thank you for the opportunity to speak today. As we all know, the core mission of all restaurants is to serve people. And due to the state of emergency and the shelter in place, and most of all, the CDC guidelines of social distancing, it's become very difficult to fulfill that mission. So those establishments that have been most impacted were those that did not have the ability to do drive-through or have little or no delivery services, and also those that were located in malls and business office buildings that had to shut down due to the shelter in place. But there were certain establishments, some restaurants that, with strong franchisor support, were able to make adjustments to their menus. They got royalty relief from their franchisors. They were able to add curbside services and also to pivot to other menu items such as dinner kits or bulk food takeout. Those particular establishments were able to weather this difficult time a little better than others.
Okay, thank you, Prince Saba, for sharing that overall state of the industry. Let me just stay on this topic and ask Kareem. We have heard that 3% of food service businesses have already closed permanently because of this COVID-19. And it is estimated that additional 10 to 15% will likely shutter in next few weeks. The Grubhub CEO is projecting that number to be even higher if the lockdown continues for a longer period. When you convert these percentage to sheer numbers, we are talking about potentially 100,000 or more food service businesses to close permanently due to this COVID-19. When you think about these numbers, these are astronomical numbers. Kareem, can you share which establishment within the food service industry are at higher risk of permanently closing down and why?
Taj, I think, obviously this sudden disruption has caused a major ripple effect of damage throughout the entire restaurant world. And it's all the related industries as well that I think people are forgetting as well that are affected by this. All the shipping, the farming, the food production and all that. All our vendors are all obviously seeing a major hit in their business. But the most vulnerable, in my opinion, are full service restaurants, especially those who are independently owned. those who are solely relying on foot traffic and don't have a drive-through, I think are particularly more vulnerable. If you can visualize what Manhattan in downtown Manhattan looks like right now, and the lack of foot traffic, you can imagine that businesses are suffering, especially in those kind of scenarios. But smaller operations are also more vulnerable because obviously you need to have large excess of cash stored away for rainy days, and typically we don't always have that. And so those are typically who I would think would be the most vulnerable in this scenario.
Okay, great, Karim. Thanks for sharing that. Let me come back to you, President Salima, and perhaps look at this impact from the Jamaati perspective. Can you share what impact have you seen with the restaurant and deli businesses in the Jamaat, and what message you would like to share with Jamaati restaurant owners on the call today who are perhaps hurting economically? President Sabah?
Yes, thanks for that question. Sharing from my own personal experience as a Subway and Moe's franchisee, what I'm going through is probably the same as what the Jamaat is facing currently, which is that we've had to do temporary closures of our low volume restaurants. There are challenges with retaining employees. A lot of employees are afraid to come to work, even though we are deemed essential businesses. We've had to reduce hours of those restaurants that are open. And obviously there's no dine-in or foot traffic coming in because of the state of emergency. So what we've seen is, 86% of operators seeing sales and traffic declines across the board. And we're also trying to work with our landlords. There are some that are willing to help us, and then there are those that are not. So that is what the Jamaat is going through, and I think all of us as panelists are going through as well in this situation. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. I think, if you look at the statistics today, we're seeing a slight uptick in the last week of March and into April for quick service and fast casual restaurants in the areas of takeout and delivery. And, we're quite fortunate because we're living in a country like the United States that is able to support a stimulus package of $2.2 trillion, which is amazing. And for small businesses, there are loan packages, such as Sabrina mentioned earlier, the Paycheck Protection, the EIDL. They provide an opportunity for cash flow at this much needed time, and the low rates with no guarantees and a forgivable portion. And I think that Economic Planning Board has done a tremendous job of providing content and instructions, step-by-step instructions on how to acquire these loans. So there is hope, and there's only strength in people reaching out, in Jamaati members reaching out for help. There's no weakness in that, and I highly encourage that if anyone needs help in applying for these stimulus package loans, they should definitely reach out. And not just help for loans, if you need financial assessments of your businesses or any business mentoring, highly encourage to please reach out and help, seek help. Thank you.
Great, Ms. Sabah. Thank you very much for sharing that. So now let's discuss some of the specific areas, and within those areas, what specific steps or actions that a restaurant owner can take to help navigate through this tough economic time. Let me start with you, Nasir, and ask you for your thoughts about the cash flow management. Obviously, the impact has been on the revenue side. Either revenue has been drastically reduced, or like President Sabah said, that in some cases, because of restaurant closure, there's no revenue essentially. And those restaurant owners, particularly who have the single location, either restaurant or deli, they may not have enough cash reserves to cover the business expenses for a longer period of time. Okay, Nasir, can you kindly share what steps or actions an owner can take to effectively manage their cash flow in the coming weeks and months? Nasir?
Thank you, Taj, for raising the question, especially deep dive into the area of cash flow management. And Yali Madad, everyone. The way we can really address this during this time where we need to be very, very prudent. Number one is in restaurant business, as we know, the big two is very, very important. The food and paper, and of course, the labor cost. So in this circumstances, current circumstances, there is no time for an error. Normally, we can slack on our business operation and the food and labor cost, which are variable cost but manageable cost, we have room to wiggle with. However, in this current circumstances, when our sales are down, we do not have an ability to have error, and we need to stay on top of it. Normally in the QSR industry, the food and paper is the standard version is about 30% or better, and labor cost is about 25% or nearby. That is a combined big two at a 55% in a QSR. Some restaurants with a higher volume will have a lower labor cost, and some with a lower volume of restaurants will have a higher labor cost. However, need to maintain this very, very effectively and very candidly on that. And second thought I would have on this area is that we must be looking at our benchmark on a daily basis and adjust any labor deployment that we need during the operations on a daily and a weekly basis, whereby we used to have 10 people operating the kitchen or the restaurant, and now because the sales decline, we must be prepared on a daily basis to reduce that number of deployment. Secondly, there is an area where the landlords and banks are very much willing to work with restaurant operators. So rents abatement up to 50% is absolute doable if your business is open. If the business is closed, then 2 to 3 months of no rent is attainable when we are requesting to our landlords. But be prepared when we are asked to provide evidence to the landlord or even banks that we have a decline in revenue, then we must provide the hard evidence to be able to keep a compliance with our landlord and banks. An owner must review at a minimum on a weekly basis. So the way we do it, and this could be very, very practical, I could look at last 4 weeks of sales and then look at the decline in the percentage drop in sales if there is any, and forecast for next week, and I can control my big two, including the labor cost effectiveness on that, so that deployment is effectively being implemented at the restaurant level with the managers and the teams. We have great program at the restaurant industry, QSR industry, about this PPP, tax credit, EIDL. We must take advantage of this, provided we must provide our information very honestly and correctly so that we can benefit from this government program available. Thank you.
Thank you, Nasir. Let me sort of follow up on your thoughts, Nasir, and then maybe ask Kadir. And this is somewhere related to the cash management, but perhaps applicable broadly as well. Can you share, Kadir, your thoughts on how owners can effectively leverage their landlords, their vendors, and perhaps other partners such as bankers, lenders, in terms of the cash sort of flow management and also from other perspective? Kadir?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Taj, and Yalimadad, everyone. As Nasir mentioned earlier about the abatements from your landlords, the practice which we've taken is we got a letter prepared by an attorney a professional letter, and we're not having the attorney send it out to the landlords. We're doing it ourselves and then following up with a phone call to the landlords. And most of these landlords, when they're receiving letters from us rather than an attorney, they're willing to talk to us, because if you send it through an attorney, these landlords are thinking, if this guy's got money for the attorney, why wouldn't, he pay us? So this practice, which we've seen, has worked for us. The first thing is, you can try for an abatement. If that doesn't work, try for a 50% abatement. And if that doesn't work, maybe, you can try, and this has worked with a few of our landlords. We've asked them that, for this period of time, for the next 2-3 months, we'll give you percentage rent based on our sales. So in the past, if, your sales were perfectly fine, you wouldn't mind paying any kind of rent, whatever was on your lease. At this time, if your sales have dropped, you're paying percentage according to your sales. Now, the normal percentage in a QSR, rent percentage, is about between 6 to 8%. And you can base it off that. Most landlords are willing to work if they really want you as a tenant. Luckily, we are in the franchise business. We're with stronger brands. So most of our landlords really do not want to lose us as their tenants. And keep one thing in mind, these landlords are afraid themselves, because the moment you leave and go, they've gone dark. And God only knows when things come back up, if they're going to find a tenant or not. So they're a little afraid on their end too. So they will be willing to work with you if you approach it the right way. So that's for the landlords. With your bankers, most of these banks are deferring payments for 90 days. We started off by, approaching every single banker, and not a single one until now has asked us has told us that, they're not going to defer these payments. Now, on occasions, they've asked for some documents, which, we were happy to provide to them, because, it is what it is. As far as the franchisors, I would urge every single person who's in the franchise business to attend every single webinar these franchisors are holding. These franchisors are holding 1 or 2 webinars every single week. That is very critical that we do attend these webinars with them, because on those webinars, they give you a ton of information which you can take back and analyze how you want to deal with your business. So that's a critical point. And most of these, they teach you how to go back and, negotiate with your landlords. From the franchise side, they would defer payments, or, if some of these franchisors have even given a partial abatement. So, if you're not on those calls, you're missing out on all these things. So I would urge everyone to be on those calls. Finally, your food suppliers. Your food suppliers, you can't do a whole lot with them. However, if you are on next day term, you can ask them to extend your term from 7 days to 14 days to 30 days. Most of these food suppliers, if your credit is good and if you've been paying on time when times were good, they will definitely work with you, because they also understand that it's a tough environment out there. Thank you.
Thank you, Kader. And if I have to summarize between you and Nasir, basically what you are sort of encouraging everyone, these restaurant owners, to talk to your landlords, to talk to your vendors, and to talk to your bankers to negotiate, so that you don't run into the cash flow problem. Thank you, Nasir and Kader. Let me just move on the revenue side. How do we improve revenue? Karim, earlier we heard that certain operations have been able to pivot to help minimize the impact. Can you share a few ideas or steps an owner can take to help drive revenue in the current environment? If you can specifically talk from the perspective of businesses that are either standalone locations or in a shopping center. Karim?
Sure. To piggyback on Kader's statement earlier, by the way, I think one major thing is, it's an automatic no if you don't ask. I think everybody has to put their pride aside. Ask every vendor, every landlord, everybody that that you write a check to every month for the opportunity to either abate or defer some of their rent or their payments. And you would be very surprised how everybody understands. Everybody's affected by this, so I think everybody would be open to it. But as far as revenue is concerned, right now cash is king, right? We have to save as much as we can. We don't know exactly when this is going to be over. So having cash in your bank account right now is the top priority. And so we have to do a couple of things. I think first and foremost, everybody on this call that has a restaurant, no matter if it's independent or franchise, whatever the case may be, you have to be on the delivery platforms. You have to be on Uber Eats. You have to be on Postmates. You have to be on DoorDash. You have to, if there's any local, micro delivery system in your area, sign up with them. Dealing with the cost and the commissions, we'll deal with that later. Right now, we need to get revenue in the doors. And the first thing you have to do is make sure you're on the delivery platform, because the world has changed, and people are willing to go through these third-party deliveries like never before. So you want to make sure we're doing that. The second thing I would say is, if you're open, make sure your restaurant looks like it's open. So people driving by are seeing if the restaurant doesn't have the appearance of having lights on or signage in the windows that say you're open. Parking cars in front of your restaurant is one thing to do. Prop your doors open to be more inviting. But more importantly, the biggest thing is we want to tell the neighborhood that you're in, that you are open for business, and making sure that everybody feels that you're trying to invite every guest that's driving by right now to come into your restaurant. The other thing I would say is also look to do curbside delivery. Now, I know there's a lot of independent owners here. I'm with multiple national brands, so it's a different scenario. But I would tell you that you don't need a fancy app or a sophisticated technology to do that. If you just put block a couple parking spaces in front of your restaurant with signage that says curbside delivery, and have an employee run outside to take an order from somebody's car. Obviously, everybody in this day and age right now is concerned about getting out of their cars or into a restaurant. So being able to run outside, take their order, take their payment contactless with maybe taking their money in a tray or something like that, making them feel comfortable, I think offers another avenue of success in this environment. And then the other thing I would say is this is a time to leverage your previous relationships. If you have the ability to reach out to some of your regular guests, whether it's through Facebook or through other means, or some of your catering customers, your previous catering customers, right now is a perfect time to just drop a call, send an email, just to say, hope you're doing safe and sound. I know that doesn't seem like it's an avenue of bringing cash now, but those kind of techniques, I think, are going to bring back, when business comes back, that they're going to think about that. They'll remember that you reached out during those tough times, and you're not looking for a sale. You're just calling to say, hey, I just want to make sure you're safe and sound. That's going to resonate for them for long term. And again, it takes a couple of minutes a day, and I don't think it hurts. And lastly, I would use social media. Obviously, it's a major platform now. Everybody is at home right now, looking at their phones and doing a lot of scrolling. And so we have to take advantage of that. We have to get on the platforms of Instagram and Facebook and all the other ways to engage with our communities. But the next time you guys do a delivery to a hospital, next time you donate something to a first responder, take a picture of that, post that, let everybody know that you are hyper local and you care about your community. Again, we're planning about what's going to happen after these lockdowns are released, and that we want our communities to remember that we were there for our community in time of need as well. And posting that is an easy way to do that. And I think we can be able to get more engagement for later on down the line.
Great, Karim. Karim, just a quick follow-up question on on the delivery sort of options that may be available. have they sort of, is there a room to negotiate prices on delivery, or have they come down on prices? Can you just quickly share with the group?
Yes, there's a lot of competition right now with all the third-party delivery systems. The numbers were astronomical. It was just extraordinarily high initially, but now that everybody's on the platforms, they have come down in pricing. The challenge right now that I've heard from a lot of fellow franchisees and restaurant owners is that they're very behind. Everybody has swarmed them with calls, and it's taking a little bit longer to get tablets and getting established. So I would tell you that's the first thing you guys should do on Monday morning if you're not on all the platforms, to get on it. But yes, there's some wiggle room. I wouldn't think there's too much at this point. We need top line sales.
Okay, great. Thank you, Karim. Let me ask the next question in Urdu to you, Nasir, if it's okay with you.
Sure.
इसी रेवेन्यू इम्प्रूवमेंट के क्वेश्चन पर आप अपने ख्यालात शेयर करेंगे, खास तौर पर वो रेस्टोरेंट जो गैस स्टेशन के साथ अटैच्ड हैं या ऑफिस बिल्डिंग में लोकेटेड हैं, उनके पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से, नसीर?
Okay, thank you, ताज. ये बहुत ज़रूरी पॉइंट है, स्पेशली जो करीम ने अर्लियर मेंशन किया और कादिर भाई ने मेंशन किया रिगार्डिंग कि अपने रेस्टोरेंट को टॉप लाइन सेल्स बढ़ाने के लिए कम्युनिकेशन हम करेंगे और हमारे बैंकर से सबसे असिस्टेंस लेंगे, वो तो ज़रूरी है. और मेरे पास जो एक्सपर्टीज़ दो एरिया में है, एक तो क्विक सर्विस रेस्टोरेंट इन द फ्रेंचाइज बिजनेस में है, और दूसरा कन्वीनियंस स्टोर्स की चेन है मेरे पास, जिसमें मेजॉरिटी ऑफ देम में डेलीज है. जो फूड नॉर्मली मोस्ट ऑफ देम आर ओपन अंटिल अबाउट 4 बजे 5 बजे तक, और कुछ रेस्टोरेंट उसमें डेलीज ऐसी है जो रात को 8 बजे तक खुली है. ट्रेडिशनली कन्वीनियंस स्टोर में हमारा ये मिथ है, माइंड हमारा ये सेट होता है हमेशा कि हम सुबह खोलते हैं, दोपहर को बंद कर देते हैं और कोई सोशल मीडिया कुछ भी नहीं करते. हम जो है कन्वीनियंस स्टोर में डेली वाले भी फूड के साथ compete कर रहे हैं, मीनिंग QSR फ्रेंचाइजर हो, फ्रेंचाइजी हो या इंडिपेंडेंट हो, लेकिन हम उसके साथ कन्वीनियंस स्टोर में भी डेली जब चलाते हैं और फ्रेंचाइज रेस्टोरेंट कन्वीनियंस स्टोर के अंदर चलाते हैं, कभी सबवे चलाते हैं, कभी कोई चिकन की प्लेस चलाते हैं, तो हम मेन स्ट्रीम रेस्टोरेंट के साथ compete करते हैं. अब ये टाइम आ गया है कन्वीनियंस स्टोर डेली ऑपरेटर के पास कि किस तरह से ये बड़ी फ्रेंचाइज रेस्टोरेंट क्विक सर्विस चलाती है, हमें कन्वीनियंस स्टोर में उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करना है. तो मैं करीम से एग्री करता हूँ कि हमें कन्वीनियंस स्टोर के बाहर जो डेली रखते हैं उसमें कर्ब साइड पिकअप के लिए साइन लगी होनी चाहिए कि अंदर ये डेली है, ये डेली का नाम है और ये हम आपको आके डिलीवर आउटसाइड कर देंगे. दूसरा, जिस तरह से करीम ने बताया, ऑनलाइन डिलीवरी कॉन्सेप्ट फ्रॉम हमारी डेली के अंदर कभी भी कन्वीनियंस स्टोर के अंदर नहीं रहा है. दिस इज हाई टाइम दैट टुडे इज द फर्स्ट डे एंड लेट्स स्टार्ट फ्रॉम मंडे कि हम इनको कांटेक्ट करें, हम बाहर कर्ब साइड पे साइन बनावे और उबर ईट्स और ग्रब हब और दूसरों को हम कांटेक्ट करें, क्योंकि देयर इज लॉट्स ऑफ कंपटीशन. और हो सकता है कि हमें ऐसा हो कन्वीनियंस स्टोर ऑपरेटर जो हम डेली चलाते हैं कि हमें तो फिर पैसा बहुत कम मिलेगा, रेवेन्यू बहुत कम मिलेगा, क्योंकि हम तो 30% के करीब 27 to 30% हम तो उबर ईट्स को और दूसरों को दे देंगे. लेकिन ये मिथ हमें चेंज करने की ज़रूरत है हम ऑपरेटर को, कि ये पास ऑन होता है कस्टमर को और आपको आपकी मेन्यू के पैसे ही पूरे पैसे मिलते हैं. तो ये हमारे लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है कि हम अंडरस्टैंड कर सके कि हम उसके ऊपर कैपिटलाइज करें. दूसरा, जिस तरह से करीम ने अर्लियर बताया कि इलेक्ट्रॉनिक टेक्नोलॉजी का एडवांटेज लेके ऑर्डर अहेड प्रोग्राम, हमारे पास मेन्यू में 10 आइटम है, हम क्यों नहीं वो 10 आइटम को मेन्यू में डालें जिसका ऑर्डर अहेड प्रोग्राम हो, हमारे पास प्रिंटर हो और प्रिंट हो जाता है, जब कर्ब साइड पे वो आए फ़ोन करते हैं, हम जाके उनको डिलीवर कर दें या वो अंदर आके ले जाए. रिमेंबर, सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग की वजह से हम सब बहुत ही डरे हुए हैं और घबराए हुए हैं और हम अवॉइड करते हैं कि हम ग्रोसरी स्टोर भी बहुत कम जाएं, क्योंकि हमको हर एक से एक दूसरे से खतरा है. ठीक है, तो हमें अगर अंदर नहीं जाना पड़े और हमें अंदर उनको दूसरे अदर ह्यूमंस को फेस नहीं करना पड़े और हमें हमारा फूड मिल जाए, तो हमारे ऑर्डर अहेड प्रोग्राम हमारे लिए बहुत अच्छा होगा. और उसकी फीस बहुत ही कम होती है, 1 से 5% के करीब होगी, and platforms are just like Olo and others that can be investigated. Or lastly, social media, great timing right now for a convenience store operator who normally doesn't think that way, कि उनको स्टार्ट करने की ज़रूरत है कि हम फेसबुक है और अदर एवेन्यूज है जिसमें हम एडवर्टाइज कर सकते हैं कि हम इस लोकेशन पे हमारे पास एक्सॉन का गैस स्टेशन है और हम अंदर ये डेली रखते हैं, ये हमारा मेन्यू है, और इस तरह से हम आपको डिलीवरी भी कर सकते हैं, हम आपको कर्ब साइड के ऊपर भी दे सकते हैं और सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग को भी मैनेज कर सकते हैं, और हम उसी प्लेटफॉर्म पे ये बता सकते हैं कि हमारी डेली कितनी हाइजेनिक तरीके से इसको हम ऑपरेट करते हैं ताकि हमारे कस्टमर्स और गेस्ट इसको कंफर्टेबल फील करें कि हमारी डेली और रेस्टोरेंट में आए और हमारे साथ वही बिजनेस दें जो पहले देते थे, और मे बी बेटर दें, क्योंकि फुल सर्विस रेस्टोरेंट है आजकल बंद है, तो हम उसका एडवांटेज लें। और इसी के साथ सी स्टोर में हम हैं तो हमें तो एडवांटेज लेना चाहिए, क्योंकि हमारे पंप पे रिसीट प्रिंट होती है, वहाँ हम एडवर्टाइज कर सकते हैं। हमारे पास हैवी ट्रैफिक होती है कस्टमर की कन्वीनियंस स्टोर के कैश रजिस्टर काउंटर के ऊपर, उधर हम फ्लायर और एडवर्टाइजमेंट दे सकते हैं कि क्या क्या सर्विसेज अवेलेबल है, क्या क्या हमारे मेन्यू है, किस तरह से क्विकली हम उनको हॉट फूड प्रोवाइड कर सकते हैं, and with most hygienic condition and very effectively on pricing. So we can do all of that through the convenience store channel as well. So now the convenience store operator must learn how to effectively compete from their deli perspective, their food service perspective, with other QSRs out there. Thank you, Taj.
Thank you, Nasir. And I think this is the important topic, particularly about improving revenue. Let me ask Kader, same question to you. What steps have you taken or are planning to take in your restaurants to help improve revenue? Kader?
Yeah. So what we're doing is we're actually analyzing our P&L, okay? And like Nasir Bhai said earlier, that your food and food, paper, and labor is the majority cost in your profit and loss statement. I would urge every single operator to go back and look at their P&L and try and analyze that. As far as food, you can't do much as far as reducing the percentage. It's what you sell, that's what's going to be your percentage according to your sales. Now, when it comes to labor, there are a few other ideas which the panelists have given. What we are doing is we're monitoring the hours of operations as well. Because the hours of operations, some of our business are late night business. Now, since this stay-at-home order has gone in play, we have to kind of play it by ear to see which locations are still good to keep open late nights. Now, most of them, they don't stay open late night, but some of them they do, because we've got delivery services. No one is getting out of their homes, so we're able to deliver food to these guests. Now, that's one thing. You can reduce your hours and you can save some labor on that side. Then comes your rents, which we spoke about earlier, that you can reduce your percentage for the rent by talking to your landlords. Your mortgage has been deferred. Then you get into the middle of the P&L, which is your controllable expenses. Now, I can give you a couple examples on those expenses. First of all, look at your garbage pickup. Okay, if your store was picking up 3 times a week earlier, bring it down to 2 times, bring it down to 1 time, depending upon your volume of your store. If you've dropped 40-50% of your volume, then go back to your sanitation company and try and bring your delivery down to 1 time or 2 times. Whatever you can save is going to help you on your bottom line. That's how you're going to preserve cash. Second item is your insurance. Now, most of the commercial insurance for QSR are based on your sales. If you don't have sales, go back to your agents, speak to them that, your sales are not there where, you had committed to. You can reduce your insurance payments or even defer your insurance payments. Third thing is your workers' comp. Your workers' comp is based on your payroll. If you're not using as much payroll, you can save on that as well. Now, that will, bring your workers' comp premiums down for the limited time. The last thing is, I'm sure most of our stores have preventive maintenance contracts. At this time, you can probably go ahead and delay the preventive maintenance for your stores for 3 months or 6 months until you get back in shape. So those are a few things which, help you preserve some cash at these hard times.
Great, thank you, Kadir. So, I think this is great. And if I may summarize the key points from all of three of you's discussion, one is essentially get on every delivery platforms. That's one message. The second message is introduce the curbside pickup. The third message is introduce and use social media for marketing. Even if it's a small operation, I think now everyone has to do it. The fourth point I heard is menu adjustment. Look at it, what's working, and change accordingly. And the last I heard about, or the other piece I heard about, the adjustment in the order system, and also using analytics to understand where do you want to focus from the menu perspective and so forth. This is great. Thank you very much, Nasir, Kareem, and Kadir. Let me move on and stay with you, Kadir. After doing all these, if a restaurant or deli continue to struggle in terms of generating income or even struggle with covering the expenses, before an owner decide to close down the restaurant or deli temporarily, what are the factors the owner should consider? Kadir, can you help us understand that?
Sure. So before you make a decision to temporarily or permanently close down any location, I would urge every single operator to talk to your franchisor, talk to your landlords, talk to your banks, talk to your suppliers, talk to every single person out there before you make a decision to shut it down. Prove them why you want to shut it down. Prove them yourself prior to this virus, prove them the sales after. And you can see the trend, and you'll be able to tell your vendors, your franchisors, your bankers, the trend which you're going through. Keep one thing in mind. Credit is very, very important. No matter, this virus thing will probably stay here for today. It'll be gone tomorrow, but your credit is forever. That is the biggest thing you have going for you. Keep one thing in mind, even if you don't have money, if you've got credit, credit is everything in this country. So before you make any decisions, analyze everything, speak to a lot of people, but don't make any hasty decisions. Even if you've got to close down temporarily, try and work something out with all these people to try and spread your payments out for a while, because this will help you in the long run to maintain your credit.
Great, Khalid. Thank you very much. I think let's move on, and I think let's look ahead a few weeks or months from now. And there is already discussion about slowly opening the nation. This is for you, President Salima. Whenever the lockdown is lifted, whether it's gradually or at once, what steps restaurant owners should take now to prepare for that opening or reopening? If you can please share your thoughts from both franchise and non-franchise perspective. President Sabha?
Sure, thanks, Tar. This is an extremely important question, because currently we are very much focused on surviving present day short term, but we cannot forget, as Kadir just mentioned, that this crisis will pass and we have to be prepared to reopen if we're closed temporarily, or to continue our operations as we used to do. But once the lockdown is lifted, we will also have to come to terms that we'll be dealing with a new normal. And what that new normal will be, only time is going to tell. But I think we have to start thinking about what we know now. So some of the things that we know now, as all my colleagues have mentioned, is that, you know, delivery and off-premise will accelerate. You're going to see a greater percentage of your sales coming from takeout, delivery, off-premise, and possibly even curbside to stay. So, you know, the advice that that was provided earlier of signing up for all of these delivery platforms is going to be crucial. The second thing we know is that food safety and food safety procedures are going to be highly scrutinized. You're going to see cities and counties really ramping up their inspections and looking at restaurant policies. So employee training is something that we can look at currently to make sure that we have adequately trained our employees in all of the food safety practices that our county offers. And third is that in-store sanitation will increase significantly. So making sure now that we're putting in the processes and procedures for making sure that our restaurants are kept sanitary, clean, and consumer perception is going to be very important for that. And then moving from, you know, in-store technology, will have to move to no-touch ordering solutions. So I think we have to start thinking from the perspective of the consumer in this new normal. And these are some of the bare minimum preparedness that we need to be equipped with. It's really important for us to think about the mindset of the consumer. Most likely, they want to be ensured that their food is prepared in a hygienic way, following all the food safety practices, that the space, the physical space of the restaurant is clean and sanitary, and then there are safeguards in place for minimal physical contact. So I would say, Taj, that, you know, employee training, signing up for these delivery services, and making sure that we have all the processes and procedures in place that will bring consumer confidence in coming back to our restaurants. Thank you.
Thank you, Prince Saba. This is great. Nasir, I'm going to ask you again, I'm going to request you again to maybe perhaps respond the next question in Urdu, because I found your Urdu to be pretty much better than mine. So, you know, I would request you two things. कि एक तो तमे जे प्रेसिडेंट साहबा ने जे कीधु अगर तमे એને થોડું સમરાઇઝ કરી દો की points, and then also if you can add તમારા ખુદના points કે how do you prepare yourself for the reopening of your business if things open up. Nasir?
Sure, Taj, thank you. सबसे पहले तो मैं प्रेसिडेंट साहिबा ने जो इंग्लिश में कहा उससे मैं 100% अग्री करता हूँ. Every bit of it. Agreement in food service business, restaurant business, ये हमारे लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है. तो हमें प्रोफेशनलिज्म मेंटेन करना है. प्रोफेशनलिज्म का मतलब ये है कि हमें हमारे एम्प्लॉइज यूनिफॉर्म में हो, हमारे एम्प्लॉइज जो है वो प्रॉपर हैट पहने हो हमारे रेस्टोरेंट्स के अंदर, हमारे स्टोर में, ताकि हेड नेट हो और प्रॉपर अटायर हो, नेम बैज हो. हमारे रेस्टोरेंट में किस तरह से हम हाइजीन तरीके से साफ सफाई का ख्याल रखते हैं, किस तरह से हम हमारे एम्प्लॉइज को रिक्वायर करते हैं कि किस तरह से वो अपने हाथ धोएं, 20 सेकंड रूल को फॉलो करें और कितने फ्रीक्वेंसी में करें, कब ग्लव्स चेंज करें, कब ग्लव्स नहीं चेंज करने का है, कब वो बाहर जा रहे हैं, अगर वो फूड प्रिपेयर कर रहे हैं और उसके बाद कैश रजिस्टर पे जाके कुछ रिंग कर रहे हैं तो वो गलत कर रहे हैं क्योंकि उनको ग्लव्स चेंज करना ज़रूरी है, कब हैंड सैनिटाइजर यूज करना है, कब नहीं. ये सब हमें जो है सब कुछ अवेलेबल है यूट्यूब पे, सब कुछ अवेलेबल. अगर आप प्राइवेट कंपनी चला रहे, प्राइवेट डेली या प्राइवेट रेस्टोरेंट भी चला रहे हैं और हो सकता है आपके पास फ्रेंचाइजोर का जो पॉलिसी है वो नहीं है, तो हो सकता है आपके लोकल हेल्थ डिपार्टमेंट में ये सब अवेलेबल हो जो आप ले सकते हैं. और अगर वो भी नहीं है तो आपको यूट्यूब से भी ये चीज़ें मिल सकती है कि किस तरह से रेस्टोरेंट बिजनेस को क्लीनिनेस के लिए और साफ सफाई का ख्याल रखना है, क्योंकि हमारे ऊपर हमारे कस्टमर एक एक्स्ट्रा तरीके से नज़र रख रहे हैं कि हम साफ रख रहे हैं कि नहीं, ताकि वो हमारे से फूड ऑर्डर करें. और मैं प्रेसिडेंट साहब से अग्री करता हूं कि ये हमारे लिए फ्यूचर हो गया है. हम ये नहीं देख सकते हैं कि किस तरह से हम पास्ट में सर्व करते थे। हो सकता है कि हम इतने हाइजेनिक कंडीशन में और मे भी हमारे किचन में थोड़ी गंदगी होती थी, लेकिन अब हमारे कस्टमर हमको डायरेक्टली देख रहे हैं और हमको देख रहे हैं कि अगर हमने गंदगी से उनका फूड प्रिपेयर करके दिया, उनको पैकेज दिया, तो वो जो है ना वो लाइक नहीं करेंगे। तो ये हमारे लिए न्यू नॉर्मल हो गया है। ये हमारी लाइफस्टाइल स्पेशली 2020 एंड 2021 में हम भूलने वाले नहीं है। कोई भी कंज्यूमर फूड खाने जाता है जो बाहर, जो नॉन पैकेज सील पैकेज में होता है, वो ये चीज को जरूर ध्यान देगा। तो हमें ये चीज पे बहुत जोर देना है। Number 2, I'm going to say it in both languages. What my point is, first is keep the employees very happy right now. This is critical time that we need to be very, very friendly with our employees and our team members. Doesn't matter we have a franchise QSR or we have a full service restaurant that we have limited services that we have provided, no dining room open, but all other things we are providing through the fast casual, or we are able to take care of our customers through the convenience store environment. We must be ready to keep our employees happy right now. How can you incentivize them? You need to first, our type of employees in the QSR are more hungry for appreciation than sometimes dollars. So once this lockdown is lifted, our industry staffing turnover challenge will begin. हमें सबको पता है, जो हम लोग 4 पैनल में हैं और जो सुन रहे हैं, सबको पता है कि हमें एम्प्लॉइज के टीम मेंबर की, क्योंकि हम लोवेस्ट पे उनको देते हैं, तो हमें उनको फाइंड करना बहुत डिफिकल्ट है। और समटाइम्स हम 100 to 150% साल के ऊपर टर्नओवर रेट है हमारा। हम उसको कोई तो ब्रांड में 200% है। हाउ कैन वी मिनिमाइज व्हेन द वर्ल्ड ओपन्स अप? ठीक है, so we need to really make sure that the turnover is reduced maximum. If we take care of our employees now, they will be around with us when they are being asked to work for a few dollars more somewhere else. So then I think, how can I retention rate? How can I have higher retention rate? There are a few things that you can do. Number 1, free meal program. Normally in QSR and other businesses, there is no free meal. You provide free meal now, so they feel a little bit appreciated. Second, provide them cash bonus for following proper hygiene. Thirdly, their punctuality. They are coming on time during this COVID-19 situation, away from their family and partially taking risks coming to your restaurants and working. You got to appreciate it somehow with, if you can afford, then do a cash incentive bonus. Then their punctuality, they're coming on time. How do you recognize them? Give them extra benefits to that. And then we also must remember that ये सारे जो employees हमारे पास काम करते हैं, all of these team members that we have, they also have a family. They are also taking some risk. And during the hard times when they know that quite many Americans are jobless, they still have a job. So if you as an employer really help them to be able to survive through this storm currently, then they will remember you. And when the world opens up, then they're being asked to go and work for Chick-fil-A or some other brands at a higher dollar. They will say that, okay, my employer here helped me out during the COVID-19. I want to stick around. And then they will work with you. So your retention is going to be much higher. Thank you, Taj.
Thank you, Nasir. Just, one point that President Salima mentioned about online, touchless sort of ordering system. I think there is also going to be need to introduce the touchless payment system also, like a Apple Pay system and so forth. So I think we need to perhaps look into that also. Thank you, President Saba and Nasir. Let's move on to perhaps another subject, and I think it's an important subject also. And there is a lot of debate that this pandemic will drastically change the consumer behavior. And President Saba, you talked about it briefly. I think particularly in the ways that we greet, perhaps the ways or the need of the social distancing, and all those. Karim, let me ask you two questions. First, what consumer behavior
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, I think
Chairman Taj, we lost you.
yeah, I think the moderator is probably dialing back in. So let's ask for patience from everybody for just a couple of minutes.
For a minute, it seems our moderator has lost power completely. So they're trying to figure a way out to get in. Let me jump in for a sec. Let me ask you this, and Mukina Sir, I'll ask you, and Karim, I'll follow up with you as well for your thoughts. It's hard to conceive, you know, we're in the middle of stress and in a very defensive posture right now as businesses. And it's very hard to conceive that there's anything positive that may come out of this COVID-19. From a positioning standpoint, strategy standpoint, do you see any silver lining, Mukina Sir, on what may come out of this experience and the steps and actions that we could take to be better ready and prepared for that?
Thank you, Rahil. Absolutely. I see that every downside definitely has a positive side. So what we are going through, all of us, people in the world, specifically in the USA, we have never seen this, and it's teaching all of us a lot of new things, So in that, what are we learning? Of course, we are learning first that we must have a rainy day funds. If we don't have rainy day funds, then we will not be able to survive for a short haul from the storms that we get. May it be hurricane, may it be pandemic, may it be anything. So if our operation strategies have been that, okay, whatever we are making money as a business, and then we take our turnaround, and from the bottom line profit, we take the 100% and go spend and enjoy life, I don't think that's going to work anymore. We need to learn on a monthly basis to have a savings of 5 to 10% going in a separate, untouchable company savings account that I call it rainy day funds. Then number two, I think moving forward, we are business people, we are entrepreneurs. We will continue to work towards working in a business environment, and we will continue to expand. And we will continue, if we like our restaurant business, quick service, or may it be full, casual, we will continue to thrive into acquisitions or opening new business. Maybe this new norm is teaching us, do not overcommit in an investment to a landlord or a lender when we are ready to future expand. Have some extra cushion from a perspective of how much in the dollar amount or the percentage that we can survive for if sales decline. So we need to have more breathing room in our projections and in our projections and in our strategy of top line estimation to the bottom line profit. The third thing that I see, go ahead, Rahil, you're saying something?
No, please finish your thought. Your thought.
All right. Okay. So the positives, another one that I see, we all are in it together. Every one of us, does not matter we are in this business or any other business, we are facing challenges that we have never seen or probably our ancestors have not seen this. So this is a high time that we need to sit down with ourselves, our family, and learn from this, that this is a new change. We must be willing to adopt this new change in delivery, curbside pickup, how consumers, how Americans are going to be eating out, and what they're looking for. And next point that I have, that I personally think that during the recession times, QSR normally does better business, especially in the QSR value brands that has a value proposition on the pricing for their products and services. I think they do phenomenally good when economy is down, because historically, if we can look at it, year 2008, that has been the case. We all, Smileys and Americans, are anticipating a recession coming down. So that is a positive, that whatever is happening right now in this small business industry, in the QSR, in the eating out, that we have been stopped to do that, it will be a positive that I think QSR is going to regain the business, and probably when we are in a recession, our sales probably are going to go higher to a record-breaking sales that we have not seen previously. So that's the positive that I see out of it. Thank you. Rahil?
Thank you very much. I will hand over to Raj because he's back on. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Rahil, and thank you, Nasir. One more question before we request Amir Murani to come and share with us about the government program PPP and tax credit. And this is for President Salima and Prince Abba. I'm gonna request you to where your institution help, and you probably alluded it to earlier on. But if you can sort of re-emphasize the importance of working together, and particularly in light of what all of us are going through this period. Everybody's hurting economically. If you can probably re-emphasize that key point, we would appreciate that. Prince Abba?
Sure, Taj. Thank you. There's no question that we're all going through some unprecedented times. We're talking about our livelihoods. We're talking about our incomes. We're talking about paying our bills and sustaining our families. And there are feelings of stress and anxiety that are normal at these times of difficulties. But one thing I think we all will recognize and agree to is that we have been a resilient community, and that is with the grace of our Imam. And, Imam has said in multiple occasions that just as fear can be infectious, so hope is infectious. And I think that we have a lot to be hopeful about. First of all, we live in a country in the United States. It's a resilient country that always bounces back. And, I was reading in a recent article that it's like a rubber band, we get stretched and it gets tested, but the reversion is inevitable. So, we are living in this country that will be bouncing back from this. We're also seeing glimmers of hope in the food service industry, especially in quick service, as was just mentioned. We're seeing improvement in comp sales, and it's going to slowly come back. The institutions also is something to be hopeful for, because without the Jamaat, there's no point in institutions to exist. Imam has created these institutions to handhold the Jamaat, and especially at these times of difficulty, it is important that Jamaati members reach out for help. And Economic Planning Board has amassed a brilliant team of experts that are there to handhold. Imam talked recently about staying united, being one Jamaat, and handholding each other. And then finally, I'd just like to end by saying that, we have the blessings of the Imam, and he has told us to build and build well when this crisis passes, which it will. And we will, with intelligent preparation, all the tips that you've heard today, with perseverance and hope, I'm very confident that we will come out of this a much stronger Jamaat. Thank you, Taj.
Thank you, Prince Saba. And just to follow up, if any one of you have any questions related to your own situation or anything, please don't hesitate to call Access Helpline, which is sort of on your screen, and the number is 844-552-2237. Thank you, President Salima. With that, we conclude this moderated session. I'm going to request Amir Murani, who's a CPA by profession, to share some updates on paycheck protection and tax credit and other government programs. Amir?
Thank you, Taj. We will try to cover some important updates that have come so far. अभी तक हम लोगों ने बहुत सारे डेवलपमेंट देखे हैं जो लोन के प्रोग्राम गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से हमको मिले हैं. पहली एक इम्पोर्टेंट चीज सब लिसनर्स को हम स्ट्रेस करना चाहते हैं कि इफ यू रिमेंबर गवर्नमेंट ने अनाउंस किया है कि सब टैक्स पेयर्स को $1,200 टू सिंगल फाइलर्स एंड $2,400 मैरिड कपल्स को डिस्ट्रीब्यूट होंगे. ये डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन इस महीने में अप्रैल के अंदर शुरू होने वाला है. तो प्लीज मेक श्योर करें कि आप अपने टैक्स रिटर्न का जो आपने फाइलिंग की है 2018 का, उसका अपडेट देख लें कि आपने फाइल किया, और अगर आपने रिटर्न फाइल नहीं किया है फॉर एनी रीजन, यू विल स्टिल बी एलिजिबल फॉर दिस थिंग. सो प्लीज कॉल एक्सेस एंड वी विल हेल्प यू आउट ऑन हाउ टू मेक श्योर कि IRS की वेबसाइट पे जाके आप किस तरह से अपना इंफॉर्मेशन को करंट करें ताकि आपको वो पैसे, वो डॉलर्स आपको आपके अकाउंट में आ जाएं. अब हम पे चेक प्रोटेक्शन प्रोग्राम के बारे में बात करते हैं. पे चेक प्रोटेक्शन प्रोग्राम सब बिजनेस ओनर्स के लिए है. आप 1120 फाइल करते हो, 1120S फाइल करते हो, या पार्टनरशिप रिटर्न फॉर्म 1065 फाइल करते हो. अगर आप सोल प्रोप्राइटर हैं, स्केड्यूल C फाइल करते हैं, या आपको 1099 मिलता है आपको कहीं से, या आप सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड इंडिविजुअल हैं, एवरीबडी इज एलिजिबल फॉर पे चेक प्रोटेक्शन प्रोग्राम. ये 2.5 times your average monthly payroll cost of 2019 और लास्ट 12 months के ऊपर है. अब इसके अंदर में डिफरेंट किस्म की क्लैरिफिकेशंस डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ ट्रेजरी और IRS की तरफ से आती रही है कि क्या इंक्लूड करना है, क्या इंक्लूड नहीं करना है. इट डजंट मैटर. आप बैंक को रीच आउट करें और बैंक के रूल्स को फॉलो करें. बैंक के पास में स्प्रेडशीट है, आप उसके अंदर भर के आप इंफॉर्मेशन को सबमिट करें. और अगर आपकी बैंक से आपको सपोर्ट नहीं मिलता है तो आप दूसरी बैंक के पास जाएं. और अगर आपको बैंक ढूंढने में कोई तकलीफ होती है, इफ यू डोंट फाइंड अ बैंक, प्लीज कॉल एक्सेस. एक्सेस में हम आपको हेल्प करेंगे आपके एप्लीकेशन बनने में, आपकी डॉक्यूमेंटेशन बनाने में. मैं नेक्स्ट बताता हूं आपको कि इसके अंदर में एक जो इम्पोर्टेंट क्वेश्चन बहुत आ रहा है कि इस लोन की फॉरगिविंग, ये लोन फॉरगिव हो जाएगा और अगर हम सर्टेन रूल्स फॉलो करेंगे. अभी हमने जैसे देखा कि इस वक्त IRS कंटिन्यूसली हर दूसरे तीसरे दिन क्लैरिफिकेशन निकालती है रूल्स का. इसी तरह से पॉसिबल है कि जब फॉरगिविंग का टाइम आएगा तो उस वक्त भी SBA और IRS नए क्लैरिफिकेशन निकालेगी. लेकिन इस वक्त जो इम्पोर्टेंट बात है वो ये है कि आपको पेरोल मैनेज करना है. आपके जो डॉलर्स पे चेक प्रोटेक्शन प्रोग्राम के अंदर आएंगे उसको आपको मैनेज करना है फॉर पेरोल पर्पसेस. और उसके अंदर आपको ये भी मैनेज करना है कि आपके पास जो नंबर ऑफ एम्प्लॉयज है, इसका टर्म जो IRS SBA ने यूज किया है वो है फुल टाइम इक्विवेलेंट एम्प्लॉयज. आपको ये एक्सप्लेनेशन कैसे मैनेज करना है, आप अगर एक्सेस में कॉल करेंगे, हमारे पास में प्रोफेशनल वॉलंटियर्स हैं जिन्होंने वॉलंटियर टाइम दिया हुआ है. दे विल हेल्प यू आउट अंडरस्टैंड कि आपको किस तरह से ये मैनेज करना है ताकि आप क्वालिफाई हों फॉर फॉरगिविंग ऑफ द लोन. आप मेक श्योर करें कि ये फंड्स जो आपको इस लोन के अंदर आते हैं, डू नॉट डाइवर्ट इट आउट ऑफ योर बिजनेस. उसको बाहर मत निकालें बिजनेस से. कोशिश करें कि यू कीप इट इन अ सेपरेट बैंक अकाउंट. फाइनली, आपके पास में इस किस्म की कोई भी डिफिकल्टी हो कि जिसके अंदर में आपको बैंक नहीं मिल रहा है कि जो आपको पे चेक प्रोटेक्शन प्रोग्राम के लिए लोन दे, या आपको लोन एप्लीकेशन कंप्लीट करने में कोई ट्रबल हो रही है, या आपके पास डॉक्यूमेंटेशन कंप्लीट नहीं है किसी किस्म का टू सपोर्ट योर लोन एप्लीकेशन, please call Access, and we have a very strong team of professionals who are volunteering their time to help the Jamaat in this situation. اس کے بعد میں ہم اکنامک انجری ڈیزاسٹر لون کی بات کرتے ہیں. یہ لون جو ہے وہ SBA سے ڈائریکٹلی ملتا ہے. ان کی ویب سائٹ پہ جا کے ہم کو اپلائی کرنا ہے. اس کے اندر میں they are also offering $10,000 loan advance which is not to be repaid. It says for up to 10,000. یہ پہلے 10,000 فکس تھا, اب انہوں نے ورڈنگ چینج کر دیا ہے, لیکن up to $10,000 آپ کو ایڈوانس مل سکتا ہے. اگر آپ کو اس کے اندر میں بھی کوئی بھی ڈیفیکلٹی ہو کہ اس کے لیے کیسے اپلائی کرنا ہے, you can call Access and we have EPB teams to help you out. So we have Paycheck Protection Program and Economic Injury Disaster Loan. Both of these programs you can take advantage of at the same time. However, there cannot be a duplication. اگر آپ کو پیرول کے لیے 8 weeks کے پیرول کے لیے آپ کو پے چیک پروٹیکشن پروگرام میں ہیلپ ملی ہے, تو آپ کا EIDL کا لون اس کے لیے یوز نہیں ہوگا, بٹ وی ول ہیلپ یو کلیریفائی دیٹ. ٹیک کیئر آف دا پے چیک پروٹیکشن پروگرام application fast. We don't know whether it is true or not, but there is a chance that there may be some tightness on funds. We don't want to delay. آپ کو اگر need ہے اس لون کی, then take the step, call the bank. If the bank is not helping, call Access. If the bank is helping and you still need some help, call Access and we'll make sure کہ آپ اس کے اندر میں timely advantage لے سکیں. Finally, کچھ اور پروگرام جو ہم کو اویئرنیس کے لیے امپورٹنٹ ہے. ایک امپلائی ریٹینشن کریڈٹ ہے. اگر آپ پے چیک پروٹیکشن پروگرام کا لون نہیں لیتے ہیں, دین آپ کے پاس میں ایک دوسرا آپشن ہے, وہ ہے امپلائی ریٹینشن کریڈٹ. اب اس کے اندر میں تھوڑا سا انٹرسٹنگ ڈیٹیل ہے کہ جو ہم سب کو معلوم ہونا چاہیے, کہ ہوگا یہ کہ جب آپ بزنس کھولتے ہیں اور آپ امپلائیز کو لے کر آتے ہیں واپس کام پر, تو اس ٹائم پہ the state, the IRS will refund you 50% of the wages paid to the employees up to $10,000 of wages. اس کا مطلب آپ نے مارچ 13 سے لے کے ڈسمبر 31 تک اگر آپ نے پیرول پے کیا اور اس میں آپ کا پر پرسن ویجز اپ ٹو $10,000 ہوگی, تو اپ ٹو $5,000 آپ کو ڈائریکٹ IRS سے مل سکتا ہے بائی فائلنگ آف فارم 7200. اس کا کرائٹیریا یہ ہے کہ if your business has to close due to government orders or the business declines more than 50%, یہ دو کرائٹیریا, دو میں سے ایک کرائٹیریا میٹ ہونا چاہیے. اگر وہ میٹ ہوتا ہے تو آپ اس کریڈٹ کے لیے کوالیفائی ہوتے ہیں. یہ پاسبل ہے کہ ہمارے بہت سارے ریسٹورینٹ اونرز کے لیے یہ بیٹر آپشن ہو پے چیک پروٹیکشن پروگرام سے, تو آپ ضرور call Access and we will help you figure out which one is better. There is also a special request to Jamaati members that آپ, اب میں فائنلی یہ پیرول ٹیکس ڈیفرل کے ڈسکس کر کے ایک امپورٹنٹ پوائنٹ سے کلوز کروں گا. یہ پیرول ٹیکس ڈیفرل صرف ان کے لیے ہے کہ جن کو پے چیک پروٹیکشن پروگرام کے اندر لون فارگیونگ نہیں ہوتی ہے فار واٹ ایور ریزن, دین یو کین ٹیک اے ڈیفرل آف پیرول ٹیکس. جو آپ کا پیرول ٹیکس بنتا ہے امپلائی کا, وہ آپ جو صرف امپلائر کا پورشن ہے, اور اس میں بھی صرف سوشل سیکورٹی پارٹ, ناٹ دا میڈیکیئر پارٹ, وہ 6.2% آپ ڈیفر کر سکتے ہیں فار ون اپ ٹو ڈسمبر 31 2021 میں آپ 50% پے کریں, اور اس کے بعد میں 2022 کے ڈسمبر 31 کو باقی 50% پے کریں. اب ایک کچھ دو چار اور کوئک باتیں ہیں. یہ کہ جو امپلائرز ہیں ہمارے جو خود پیرول پہ تھے, وہ اگر خود امپلائرز اپنا ان امپلائمنٹ کلیم کرنا چاہتے ہیں تو کیا وہ ایلیجیبل ہیں یا نہیں, یہ اسٹیٹ بائی اسٹیٹ ویری کرتا ہے. آپ ایکسیس کو کال کریں, وی ول ہیلپ یو فگر اٹ آؤٹ. آلسو اف یو ہیو اینی کوشچنز اباؤٹ figuring out whether if you are an independent contractor, اگر آپ نے پیرول نہیں بھی لیا ہے کمپنی کے اندر میں اور آپ کسی اور طریقے سے کوالیفائی ہو سکتے ہیں پے چیک پروٹیکشن پروگرام میں, وہ ہم آپ کے ساتھ اسیس کریں گے اور آپ کو بتائیں گے کہ even if you don't have payroll in your company, is there a possibility for you to qualify in a different capacity. So we request the Jamaati business owners, particularly today we are talking to restaurant and food business, please call Access, اور ہم آپ کے ساتھ بیٹھ کے اس کا ایک حساب کر کے آپ کو بتا سکتے ہیں کہ what approach should you take for taking advantage of this program. Thank you, Taj.
Thank you, Amir. Amir, there are two questions that are coming up from the toolbox, question Q&A toolbox. One is about, if the restaurant owner, can they apply for all three different programs, the EIDL, PPP, and the new tax credit program? That's one question that's coming up. And can you quickly respond to that, and then I'll see who we can.
Yeah, you can apply for PPP and EIDL both. As I mentioned, that it cannot be duplicated. So it means that if you get a PPP loan, and by the way, the PPP loans disbursements have almost started. Banks have started disbursing the funds, so hopefully people will start getting those loans next week. But if you apply for PPP for next 8 weeks for payroll, and then you apply for EIDL, and if God forbid your financial difficulties are extended into more length than 8 weeks, then EIDL may become a good support for you. And another advantage of EIDL is EIDL, you can go back for additional help if the first funding is not helpful. With PPP, you can only get what has been approved, that is 2.5 weeks of 2.5 months of payroll.
Okay, and the other question, Amir, that is coming up is that many of the business owners applied for EIDL several days ago, and there has been no response from the SBA or anybody. Can you quickly sort of touch up on that?
Yeah, don't give up hope on it. SBA took some time to pick up speed because it was a very big program, and as we heard from the panelists before, this is the first time in U.S. history that the whole country has been declared as a disaster area. So SBA was not ready for such a huge support system that they had to provide to the whole country, which is looking like that they have now started picking up. And it is probably happening in the next week, 2 weeks. I'm not promising on behalf of SBA, but I have seen people who have got credit inquiries on their record from SBA, which means that SBA is working on their application. So things are happening. So it could be just a few days matter, hopefully.
Okay, great. Thank you, Amir. I think with that, we're going to conclude our webinar. I want to thank everyone who attended this webinar and also the speakers for sharing their time and knowledge. Just want to sort of reiterate what President Saba also said, that the Jamaati institutions are working together. They are here to assist you. The 3 credit unions and the trade associations are also working very diligently to help the Jamaati members. If you have any questions pertinent to your own situation, please call Access Line. That's the best way, and don't hesitate to call Access Line. And again, EPB continues to provide resources and building the resources. EPB will continue to develop additional webinars with in-depth insights and tools for the benefit of the Jamaat. So please stay tuned for the future webinar announcements. Once again, thank you, and Yali Madad.